What happened, Rose? I think we're live now.
Yeah, did you kick it off?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You just
Yeah, well, so EV Mux, however you want to pronounce it, it said our recordings are full. So I had to go and delete some past recordings for it to even kick off, which is
Dang.
a bit bunk, to be honest. I'm not super happy about that.
Yeah.
Um, so just trying to figure out what's up there. I mean, I could go one more plan up, but that's like,
nah. We record everything anyways, so it's fine.
yeah, well, we record it to
YouTube.
YouTube so we could download from there. Just got to figure out what's the proper process. So the other challenges too is if we're getting brand a collab in there, and if we do that, then we also have to upgrade. And prefer not to upgrade because I think what we have right now is perfect, and it's half the cost of the next plan up. So either way, we are here, we are live, we are rolling. Crypto G, we do not have your face. That's fine if you are
Oh, I
aware.
thought. Let's see.
There we go.
There we
It's
go.
just
Oh,
show.
wait.
No, it's just showing OBS.
No, we're good. I'm checking all the stats. It looks like we're live on everything. Looks
Sweet.
like we have a lot to work to do this week for the most pivotal space.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I kind of
That's
yeah.
what
I
we
mean,
get
it kind
paid the
of
big bucks for.
it kind of already did a morning pivot. Um,
Yeah,
so
we
let's
had a
get the
strong wick for sure.
yeah. We had a wild wick. So we'll dive into it and then we'll catch up from there. Bitcoin macro, Bitcoin and macro. I don't know if I should change that title. Bitcoin macro, Bitcoin liquidity flush all the way down to 88, 4, 88.5, or 88.8, right in that range. U.S. government causes a bit of a sell-off scare. Most of this was a liquidity flush, wiping out the lowest on the
Yeah.
daily longs, but also a bit of a scare on U.S. Bitcoin and whether or not that could be sold. Yeah, I mean, I'd say probabilistically more likely not than it does, but there is a reasonable chance at this point that they move or sell.
I
You, what's your
sorry.
thoughts?
I saw something, and it makes sense. If they were to sell any, well, obviously we know that the U.S. is trying to accumulate Bitcoin. They are openly doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I saw something that maybe if they were to sell it at all, odds are they're not going to sell it on an exchange or directly to Coinbase where it's going to affect the price. It's more of going to be like an over-the-counter transaction. I would say they would sell it to somebody else.
You are saying that smart activities will occur? Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, the German government proved that we're,
yeah, they didn't care at all.
smarter brains prevail, and this current government has shown a propensity to be against crypto in general. So maybe it's a move for them to kind of one last stick it to the incumbents. I don't know, but that's on the pessimistic side.
Right.
I lean towards the fact that we're like 60, 70% unlikely that any of it gets sold. This is just more posturing than anything.
They're
But
already talking about, making monthly plans or quarterly plans to buy Bitcoin. So,
yeah, there you go. So if
yeah,
it
it'll
if it
be,
is if they do sell it off, then chances are they're buying it right back, kind of thing,
yeah, pretty
right? So
much.
we'll
Kind of
see
like
with
they do
that.
with the banks and everything like that when
Mm-hmm.
they sell it and then buy it right back up.
Exactly. AI crypto
Correct.
market cap is now at 13.7 billion, down from I think about 17.4 or 18. It's down about 4.5 billion over the last over the weekend, really. So 35% up about 3.5% on the day. AI crypto mind share is at 48%. It peaked up about 73, 74%. So it's also down. So the AI narrative has shifted a bit. I'm sure it's going to push back here again, but it's more narrative than kind of like this mainstay of crypto at the moment. And an anime token, finally, details announced. Timing wise, makes a lot of sense given the fact that it was Azuki's birthday, third birthday, I think. And so they have rallied, kind of a soft rally, but in the face of really strong headwinds. NFT market is declining a bit. Of course, crypto majors, etc., Ethereum, all over the board dumping. So the fact that they're managed to be up is still pretty good, but down from where they made it to. They were at about 14 and a half when I checked last night, and was thinking, man, this is a really interesting time to do a bit of a blend loan or see what's available at that time. But still have to kind of weed out what the general sentiment is for how that token allocation is going to look. It looks like about 30% going to holders of the Ezekiel ecosystem, 50% in total to the community, but 30%. And so, at a $1.2 billion valuation, I was seeing figures in like 30K to 60K for a big Izuki on the airdrop side of things. So, I would imagine that maybe a 30K kind of rests in there is making some sense. So that's about a 10 ETH airdrop, just on kind of rough back of the napkin kind of mathematics there. So we'll see. But that was the big catalyst. That was the big play that we were awaiting. It's finally coming forward. It sounds like this could occur over the next couple weeks. I've seen something that it was January. Of course, football wild card weekend. Terrible football games, by the way. Only one of them was actually interesting, but so tied to that. So it's hard that Zuki's trying to challenge the football playoffs, but was into it last night, just researching as much as I could. On the NFT side of things, volume crazy high for Ethereum, of course, driven by primarily Azuki. Ordinals 2 million, Solana 1.89 million, and then notable movers across the board. It's Azuki ecosystem. I put a couple up here. Azuki up 7%, Elemental's up 10%. Surprisingly enough, up higher than what we're seeing on Beans. I still stand by Beans kind of being what I think is the best leverage bet, but we'll see. I mean, they could certainly allocate to Elementals greater than Beans, and it's not going to be much of a surprise. But I would think that they would reward longer term holders on the Beans kind of things. But they're also, there's the badge system in their ecosystem that sounds like also going to get a degree of reward, etc. So simply buying an Azuki today isn't going to yield as much as having been in the community for a while and having earned certain achievements. So I think that's fair, but also think that limits the upside on the NFT side of things. So we'll see. And then Kaido, we've mentioned this several days now. Kaido is it's an interesting platform. It's where we get this sentiment, etc., for AI, etc. They have a back-end platform that is quite costly, to be honest, and so some people have it. I don't know if they have it through just partnerships or whatever, but there's the Kaido platform, and then they also came out with Kaido Yaps, which tries to measure KOLs or thought leaders in the crypto space and reward them with yaps. And then those yaps are now yielding returns and profits. So the top yap holders are earning crypto airdrops. They're earning just ETH airdrops, all that kind of stuff. And then they also have the NFT here, which is at 7 ETH. It was as high as just about 8 ETH, I think, on Friday. And so it's up, but it's a kind of a rebound up. I'll actually everything on this board that I show that's up, because I'm typically showing what's up when I do these summaries. Everything that's on it is a rebound. It's not actually up. Quite misleading, to be honest. But keep that in mind. But it's nice to see a little bit of green amidst all the red. But Kaido is still really interesting. There's an idea that the NFT will result in some token allocations, etc. I'm not sure if it's access to the platform. If it's access to the platform, then it's something like NFT nerds, and at that point, it's probably still worth 3-4 ETH plus airdrop. So I think it's interesting. It's really hard to gauge what it's actually going to be worth, and maybe it's worth more if you're a KOL and produce the apps and all that kind of stuff. But for most of us, it's just interesting to be aware. One thing I did find interesting is using their new Yap dashboard. You could find individuals that they deem to be thought leaders in the space, and maybe you can find some follows there that are worthwhile. Stuff like that might be kind of the move there. And in terms of meme coins, notable movers, Fart coin with just a smoking rally. I was looking at it earlier at the 800K level, and I'm like, this is where I've been saying I got to accumulate more. And I kind of hesitated, being like, well, let's see where this market plays out. And then I go do the summary, and I'm like, it's at $1 billion. What? And I had to double check a couple spots. So it's rallied 41% from lows. I think lows around 750K. So it's just rocketed up. Shows that it's probably going to be one of the leaders through this cycle, and which is good because it's one that I have a lot of belief in the meme itself, and then of course it has the AI attachment. So I think combined, it's really interesting. Pippin, another AI token, up 22%. 235 million. Unicorn Fart Dust. The fart meta is real strong around here. It's up 2.74% to 200 million. Probably down a bit, and then a rebound here on that one. But 200 million is near its all-time highs, at least when it had that initial pump. Just gaining momentum on Unicorn Fart Dust. So that one's interesting. AI16Z had taken quite a pounding for a while, so it's up 11%, but down in general. And a lot of these AI tokens have, like I said, on the top, they're down 35% really over the weekend, with some of these rebounding. So it's been a bit of a rough ride, but overall, seem catching some rebounds. That's the way the meme coins work, right? Like cryptos dump, it's gonna, Bitcoin obviously kind of usually the most stable, then in Ethereum and Solana less stable, alts less stable, meme coins, you're happy if you didn't go to zero, kind of thing. Exaggerated, but that's the kind of the way to think of it. And the last bit that I think is interesting, I finally found a really good Polymarket gauge on it, and that's the price predictions. I think these are really interesting. I think it's a good way to measure sentiment week over week, and provides a little extra value. So January Bitcoin price achievement, not target. So prices that it will hit within the month. 105K, 41% chance. And then 80K, 17% chance. So, risk of some downside there, and then some optimism on the higher side of it. All quite interesting. If we closed off our last show saying that we were going to all-time high, we could not have been more wrong. But it's the power. It's the power of the pivot. Every Monday, Tuesday, you see the market pivot. Precisely that.
Shot.
And so, we thought the pivot was just going to remain, and it was going to continue on the rally, but wasn't the case. We dumped. Fortunately, we're ready for another pivot. So, based on the chart, and I'll slide in there and then open it up for thoughts. But I got to
be wrong here and there. We had a good couple weeks in a row, so.
Yeah, we were dialed there for a while, and then I think we got a little too optimistic. Usually, when there's a little too much optimism, or too much pessimism, and you can want to counter trade that, right? But
it did pivot.
Yeah.
It was just the other way.
Mm-hmm. So you can see that we got the pivot here at the bottom at 88K on the Monday, but Tuesday here we could see a continuation upward. This was a liquidity flush. This was really good. Still seeing some calls for 80K, 78K to be precise. So we're not necessarily out of it yet. The 78K is really good for, like, if you look at the daily 200 moving average, that's a nice tap before we rally. So really could see 78K and still be in this kind of bullish trend, right? So we're not in any negative space there. But looking at these wicks and where we've gotten down to, and the fact that we rebound really well, and we've just started our Tuesday candles, so we've held this recent bottom. I think there's a good probability you could look at this almost as a double bottom and a rally up, or you could look at this as a head and shoulders and a rally down to 78K. So it's an interesting inflection point. If we want to believe in the power of the pivot, then we're saying we got at least a little bit of upward action here, maybe a little up rally and then down, or up rally and all time high. It's a tough read right now. You do not want to be leveraged unless you're a really experienced trader. Spot and hold on, or DCA in, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't want to be all in right now, given the fact that there could be some chance for accumulation. But if I am all in, I'm just sitting here and waiting it. And even if we do dump, we'll usually, what you see is this crash down and then rally out, and hopefully that's exactly what we just saw right now, is this flush out and rally. But we could also see here as the flush out and rally. So thoughts?
I can agree with that. If I think I'm gonna try and try and share my screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let me
so
add you up here. So give me a second. I'll get your screen up there.
70K is possible, but I wouldn't say like within a week from now. I don't think we would be that low. If anything, let's see. Maybe we see like 80, high 80K into 84K. Trying to find my pointer here. There it is. Are you guys able to see my
You're not
screen?
sharing yet, right?
I
Yet.
am
Give
adding
a
it
second.
here in 1 second. There you go.
There
You're
we
up.
go. So like obviously we're right here right now. I think there's either two things that can happen this week. We either start to trend upwards. I don't think we would see all-time highs within the next week. I would like to see it maybe back at 100K, sitting above. And that's, me being optimistic. It's also, oops. If we go the other way, I think we can see in this range here, which is, 87K to 82K. I like this wick though. It was a fast wick. It pretty much eliminated a lot of these buyers here, especially on the leverage end of things. I'm sure a lot of people got wicked right out of their trade and back up. So we could see something even similar again. If we do continue low, I would honestly just like to see us land somewhere in this range rather than right in this middle area here. It's hard to tell with, the future of it, where it could go from there. But yeah, I think it's a 50-50 shot for the week. I do like where it's at, but there's some sellers we have to break through up here first.
Yeah.
I honestly think it might be alt season soon.
And this is like the lowest I think we'll go, is like 71K. But like that would be probably not even till February. I don't think it would be a fast move. Maybe it's just a slow, like, kind of, small wicks here and there, kind of like we're doing now. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin, and you guys know I use Fibonacci, so.
Which is a
We've been holding
great.
here
I mean,
pretty good.
I've definitely adopted the fib in there as well, just to kind of
Find a little range and then dial in on that's kind of like, I find this range, and once we get there, I'll kind of zoom in. Maybe I'll go to the 4 hour or so, get down into the smaller time frames and look how it acted over here. This is I guess we did shoot right through this zone last time, so this zone's probably not very strong if we do go back. But we'll see. We will see. On the 4 hour, it does look pretty good right now. I would kind of like to see it break above this before we confirm anything higher. 95, 907. If I were to
above
try and enter,
95,
if I were to enter a
challenge 100.
leverage trade, yeah, pretty much. That's what
You're
I would
not
see.
entering a leverage trade
I don't,
in these
I don't
markets.
personally leverage trade at all, but I would look for something kind of like up here, back down to here, and then maybe a move back up.
Yeah,
We retest that
exactly.
range, and
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's your.
leverage trading is very risky when nobody knows the direction of the market. Leverage trading is risky in general.
We were talking about
Mhm.
this before. How it's if you're looking for leverage, options on Bitcoin ETFs provide better leverage than
Oh yeah, I remember
spot
talking about that.
option or from futures or whatever because you can't get stopped out,
Right.
right? You can't get stopped out if you have conviction, which I do. I have some May expiry options on Bitcoin, and I'm probably
Nice.
shitting the bed right now on those, but I'm still holding.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, and by May, I think we'll be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see where we are in 4 or 5 months.
So yeah, you can see here the liquidity heat map, and
Oh yeah,
all
all
this
those
liquidity
buyers right there.
down below just got wiped on that wick.
Yeah.
And so there's been some posts, but that's that amount of liquidity flush there. And then there's some more liquidity up in this 96K, so probably just above that level that you were just showing there.
Okay.
Um, so,
I
push
wonder
up
how
to
they get
there
this
kind
data.
of expectation. Right? I'm not exactly
Um,
super familiar on how they go about that.
It's got to be connected to like the blockchain or something somehow.
Well, this is
This is centralized exchanges, right?
yeah, this is centralized. This is Binance. You can go through and grab any one of the platforms. So this is the kind of coming right directly from the exchange.
Is there a Coinbase one?
I don't
I think
believe
Binance still has the most
so.
volume,
They
so
probably. Oh yeah, like according to like market cap and stuff. Definitely.
I don't know if you can you even leverage on Coinbase.
you can do futures,
Oh
but not
yeah, I didn't
UX.
realize that was for the
Yeah,
lick. Okay.
But I think
yeah, because this
Binance
is
still has a lot of volume. Binance is probably top leader in volume right
The
now.
the BNB is still the fifth biggest crypto. So.
mhm.
Yeah, I really think it's all season soon. I think in the next,
Oh what?
probably this month, we're rotating over to alts.
We'll have to pull up the dominance chart. We'll do that.
If you want to go back and share, actually, sorry, I can do
I'm
that for
still.
you.
I don't know the
Yeah,
exact thing for the dominance. I don't have it starred on my.
I like the alt dominance,
Um.
or
It's BTC dot D.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
we could look at total three.
I think I have total 3 marked. Let's do that.
Ooh,
Oh, I have total.
you pay for
Okay.
Trading View.
Yeah, I always buy it on Black Friday.
Very
That's
It's like
nice.
smart.
it's like half the price.
You're that's aristocratic, bro. That's kind of nice.
This is excluding Bitcoin and ETH here. That's a good spot to hold. As you can see, I have these marked up from forever ago. Or I would take my fib from here to here, and maybe we come back to this little 867 billion level to 800, 9 to 800 maybe. But it's bouncing off a 382, which is if it can continue up from here, that's usually means it's a strong trend. So it'd be interesting to see. I got a lot of lines here.
So it's quite
This,
possible for that bounce there, move there. Hey,
yeah, because it could just be retesting this level, and this is on. Also keep in mind this is the weekly, but that's from this high all the way to this low. Obviously, sellers were waiting here. We saw, we saw them sell off here a little bit, but yeah, maybe we see anything from this range too. Like I said, 800 billion maybe minimum, and then we could bounce up,
the previous top there, yeah.
which it pretty
Okay.
much double topped right here. So, Let's look at it with ETH too. Kind of similar, but we didn't hit the all-time high with ETH.
Maybe pull up the Bitcoin dominance. Let's see what that's looking like right now. Okay.
What all that jazz is down there. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, this is a good spot to look at with the fib. Sellers are waiting here. Maybe we do see a little run up for Bitcoin here over the next week. Some of the dominance, and we could fall off from there. Oops. Or if I could even take my fib from here, which is similar range. Or maybe we see Bitcoin, over time get back up to here before then, this cycle, 66%, 69% dominant. It's a 50-50 this week, I feel like. It's hard to say we don't have any confirmations really.
Yeah.
I mean the rally today after that liquidation thing.
That was pretty bullish, yeah. Like,
I mean, it seems like we're just staying at that 94 thing for like a couple days now. Like this is kind of the level that it's flooring at.
yeah, this is the hourly chart here. So I would probably take it from that high to the low.
You really
Yeah,
think
right.
the election or the inauguration is going to do a lot?
I really don't know. I have it marked here. That's what this orange bar is.
I know it's. I don't. I mean, I feel like it's not. But then, like, what does it change really? 'Cause
I guess
Trump just being in
it's a
office.
yeah, I mean everybody knows he's already going to be in office. I guess maybe it's the fact that they are, have said that they're going to try and establish a Bitcoin reserve and, regulate crypto and kind of everything like, well, maybe they didn't say exactly regulate, but um it's a bullish, team coming in for crypto. They're obviously for it. Maybe that's what institutional investors are waiting for.
Yeah. If you go look at the Bitcoin daily chart, like, there's just no price. Like, look at these candles. Like, last for candles,
I know, bro. Like what?
That's wild.
right?
How
Isn't that
often? That
strange?
doesn't happen very
I
often.
think
No,
we're
I was
just
gonna say,
watching
when's the
football
last
right
time we've
now.
seen something like that?
Maybe like right here.
Not even like
Yeah, like
this
those
is
are
like
just those.
zero action. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, sorry, lots of action, zero movement, end of day.
This was
Similar,
a
maybe
pretty
back in September 23. Oh, what's that
September
one there?
23. That is February of last year.
February 24. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good. That's pretty tight.
And then it went up, so
Yeah, it's like,
looking good.
let's see. Oh, I just lost my spot now. Oh, here.
Yeah, September
Yeah, and that
23 is
last
kind
time
of
it did
similar.
wick down farther than all of those. Just a bit, but
Like, it seems like we're just gonna chop to the election or the inauguration, and then
There was something similar back. Yeah, that's exactly where you put what, September 24th? You see that
I
one?
was in February of
Okay,
24.
September 24 is also
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
close
like right
there.
here.
No, that's
Oh, that's
August.
August.
Similar though, yeah. But September 24, just after, right there.
Here we
Yeah.
are. Yeah, very slow.
We did get a rally and then a fall
Um,
from that, but yeah, this is like a straight line with some
And this
wicks. Like
wick
that's
is like like that was barely a red candle. Look at that shit
yeah.
for the daily. Like barely a red candle. And now we're just chilling here. They were waiting for our space.
That's how they do every week.
Like it looks like you can't even
Wait
see the
forever.
bodies of these candles right
I
now because
know.
my
Yeah.
line's right on it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Should we swap
Crazy.
over to ETH?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
do ETH and Soul and run. It's already been 30 minutes. We're not even done with the Bitcoin.
we tend to
Bitcoin. It's crazy how that time moves on these spaces where like you do your intro and stuff like that, and you do
Sometimes
the
it's sometimes kind of slow, but some other days it's like I don't know.
yeah.
I like this range for ETH here. I would like to see
Dude,
it
ETH's
hold at
gonna
this
start moving.
3,000 level. Worst case scenario, we come back to this range here,
No. Keep it
but I
3K
don't
and
think.
above.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty bullish here.
Yeah.
Um,
Because yeah, if
and
you lose
then
that, you're back down to what 24, 23.50.
close to it.
That's
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
that's a tough drop from there. So
You think we're gonna hit
3K
10K ETH
hold.
this cycle?
What'd you say?
You think we're gonna hit 10K ETH this cycle?
Um,
Doesn't seem
yeah.
like it.
I don't know. I'd like to say so, but
I mean, ETH sure really doesn't want to move.
ETH is like sleeping right now.
let's
Yeah.
see. So let's go back to some history here. It's 423% from there. Yeah, there's just no really rhyme or reason. That's like a 2,000% from. Well, yeah. So
I don't know. I mean, it's only like what 3x from here.
yeah, it's 219%.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, bro, that seems like a lifetime away.
I would take my your poly market prediction for end of year Ethereum and say, you know, prior to the last chop here, and well, lack of price movement really. Ethereum has been really rough, but like if you were to go back to say summertime June and put a price prediction on Ethereum hitting 10K at the end of the year, I think a lot of people would say, okay, that's probably a 40%.
That's
I
what I
think
said too. 40,
I,
35.
I think we can
35,
definitely see a
40%.
6 to
Is
7K.
that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying now? Or is that what you would have said then?
That's what I said then. But 30,
Yeah.
40% is like basically guaranteed to polymarket
Yeah.
people.
Exactly. So otherwise you're looking at now maybe being like
20, 25, 15.
15, 20. Yeah. Yeah. So, you're about half as bullish on Ethereum achieving that.
I think we can definitely see 6 to 7K.
It just looks like there's just no like.
There's just no life in this chart, huh?
Yeah, it just seems like the hype is not there for
Maybe
ETH.
maybe that's maybe that's a buy signal. Everybody's
I feel
sleeping
like
on
the
ETH.
Soul doesn't have that much hype. Soul's just
We
fucking.
have been trying to find buy signals for Ethereum for how long? Right? Like,
We're just gonna keep making them up.
yeah.
Tell people pump the market for us.
Like it always looks like it's good, and it just doesn't do it until you give up on it, and then
Turned into a
it
slow
does it.
mover.
Yeah. It's the most
Just chilling. But this, like again, this cycle's different than all cycles, I'd say.
mhm.
What's the catalyst for ETH?
It's just like the Bitcoin of like different blockchains, I feel like almost. Like it's Bitcoin and then Ethereum, I feel like was made to
Right, but now we
be
have
a little
other
bit
L1s that are faster, stronger.
exactly.
Not
So
stronger,
that's the thing, I
faster.
guess. Like, does Ethereum end up just fading out? I don't think so, though.
Yeah, I mean you still have building going on
I'd say
Ethereum, so it's still any one of these ecosystems. Like we still haven't necessarily defined the must use de facto kind of, other than Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. We haven't defined what's the
the
essential
standard.
yeah, exactly, the essential elements of crypto and the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Certainly there's a lot that we've got ingrained, but nothing's become so ingrained that it's
And
like, right?
I think Tyler said this last week. He might have not been on this call actually, but like, you still people still use very, very little people still use like Bing and stuff like that, but there's Yahoo, Google, there's a bunch of different search engines and even think about like the aspect of phones. There's a bunch of different phones brands and stuff like that. All of them are still going to be around, but maybe not as crazy and 10, 15 years from now they just slow down a little bit. Maybe ETH will be like the Blackberries of phones.
No, that's even worse, bro. Don't say that shit. Don't say that shit.
No, they'll be like the Android, I guess. Bitcoin would be more the Apple of
I think you're
product.
just running away with that. I don't even know what you're talking about at this point. I feel like you. That's no way you're saying Bitcoin is the Apple of phones of crypto.
I mean, it's just the OG. It's been around. It's used the most. Is it always going to
Definitely
continue
not,
that
dude.
way?
Apple has like 30 to 25% market share.
Oh, they don't. I just maybe it's because I don't know. I just always assume a lot of Apple has most, but I guess Androids are a lot more than I think.
Yeah, it might have like 25 to 30.
Moral of the
Uh,
story: I don't know much about phones.
pull up the Sol chart. Let's just keep the ball rolling.
So Solana here, I like this range too, down to 170 still.
Oh, Solana's taking a
Um,
beating. I mean, maybe it was just running hot, but it's taking a
let's look at
beating.
the
It seems like.
weekly.
I feel like this is a good time to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good range for Solana. It's coming back down to these highs here, kind of trying to find some support. Looks like it is. Maybe we bounce back to all-time highs from here. Yeah, I could. Let me go back to the daily.
I like Sol. It's just there's a lot of what do they call them? Rotes hyperactive traders.
Exactly, right? Hyperactive traders. I always forget it when I want to talk about it in a positive way, and then I just, back of
Some
mind's like, oh, you just call them
hats,
Jeters, 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 right? But it's not the case. It's just hyperactive traders. Oh, well,
hats.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. Your hats. I love hats.
This shall be a good range, I would say, though, for Solana. If we have another red week, maybe we see back down to this 170-ish range.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Sol's just running hot, so it looks like it's bad, but it's been doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah, the chart looks good for sure, even like especially on the weekly.
There's 30%. Just right there, right? I mean, we're down 30% from uh, all-time highs, uh, which is a 50% move up, right? So you're there's a lot of opportunity in Solana, being as a major, that it's really intriguing at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, would it be nice to get $120 sold? Sure, but if we see $120 sold, then we might be a little afraid to buy it. Um, but this range here at 180 has been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, as you see, it struggled to break out. I mean, it broke out here pretty good. Came back down, struggled to break out a little bit, and then once we broke it, we ran and just turning it back into some
Yeah,
support now.
that's a that's a really good kind of liquidity zone for that box there.
Yeah.
Now you don't want to test it much more. Be a
No.
nice spot to create a nice little double bottom and rally, but
Oops.
if you go up and then back down, you might break through it, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, if we do something like
Yeah, certainly possible. So it's yeah, it's a tough one to gauge. I think it's really easy to try and drive a narrative and say, okay, we are going down. We're going to sell off and then rally, or not rally, depending on there was plenty of bear market top is in kind of people on the timeline over the last little while, but
I just don't think so yet.
Yeah, I think it's just it's you trust the pivot.
We haven't had altcoin season yet, you know?
Yeah, I haven't had altcoin season. There's a lot. There's a lot left to the cycle. One thing that gave me a bit of intrigue, a little bit of hesitation, pause, whatever, what have you, is that we're 700 plus days into this bull market already, right? We're already 2 years in,
Right.
because we started so long ago. Uh, but we can certainly still get uh, the rest of this year, and in fact, we should expect it based on historical trends.
Yeah. Depending on where you started, I guess you can start it from right. Mm,
It's
yeah, I mean,
true.
if
If you
you caught
if you
the
start, you could
very
start it from the
bottom,
bottom. Yeah.
756 days on Solana, but if we go
Mm-hmm.
to Bitcoin, bro, that chart is
Wait
actually
from
pretty
your wait
crazy when
from
you
your
look at
fib.
it on the big time frame.
Yeah.
Just ignore all the noise here. S- 791 days, 800 days.
What do they say about halvening and then the all-time highs again?
I
What's
have
that
a,
stat?
We were all time high prior to happening. So
I think I,
But we can get
we
another alt. It's not like we can not get another all-time high.
well, the thing is about market dynamics is that if someone can think it, it starts to
these are all
you
the
know
big, all these orange bars are the halvings, except for this 20th one here. But so like
Can you do that measurement? What's it like? No, from the
2,000 per.
bar. From the bar.
Oh, okay. 511 days,
Okay.
518 days, 500 something days. And then this one, we are
we still got a ways to go. Is what you're saying.
280 days. So
So we're halfway, right?
about another year, you know?
Yeah.
All right. I'm strapped in. I'm ready.
Yeah, I was really curious one day, and I looked at all the percentages and everything. Oh, what did I just do? I just messed up my chart. Um,
You're on the replay thing. You're good.
yeah, I'm just gonna refresh everything.
Just a reminder for
But
those that watch this stream and may not catch our Tuesday/Friday streams. Is there you can get in and chat on X
On
directly into the
on
stream,
TikTok, on
and then
YouTube.
ask us questions. We look for those comments, and we can respond directly to what you're interested in. So, just a reminder: the more interactive these sessions are, the better we can make them. So, yeah.
I'll quickly go through my favorite altcoins. Aave is at a good range. Maybe we see back down to 247, 250 range. Kind of depends on how the week goes and these next few candles. It had a strong wick like Bitcoin did today. Um, Compound, I don't know. It's is losing dominance. It's slowly trickling away on the, it used to be top 100. Now I think it's like might not even be top 150 coin anymore. But I still like it. I think maybe if we do come down, we see like $60 here. That looks pretty likely with the way this chart's looking at. Uniswap, I do like it right now how it looks. Maybe we see it come down to this $11 range. I think we'll hold there though and kind of continue to go back up. I don't think Uniswap's going anywhere. Chainlink in a decent range as well. Um, Maybe we come back down to here. Depends on how it plays out again this week. If we don't hold this level, I kind of have like this $16 level in my eyes and maybe even 14 again. But it'll kind of depend on, how the markets play out. Any other altcoins you guys want to see?
Yeah, pull up Sui or Doge,
Okay.
Ton, all the classic ones.
Sui's had a good week from what I know.
It's been okay.
I saw it had a. Oh no, I guess not really.
It's
I
still
noticed
not
it was up
hot.
from last week. I thought when I was
Yeah.
looking at it the other day.
A lot of those original alts got that bit of a bullish pennant kind of forming. How do you go off of anything like that, or do you look at just typically the fib levels and trends?
Pretty much just look at fibs. I do know a few like patterns and stuff to look for, like you kind of mentioned. Um, I used to. I'm trying to think what it's called that I used to use. I can't think of the name, but Sui has a decent range to hold here as well. Maybe we come back to low $4 or even touch $4. Did you want to share your screen and show what you were talking about, Rhodes?
Um,
Or were
yeah,
you
I can.
just
I don't think we're gonna see $4 on Sui. I think I think maybe 450 for like a
that would be
close
yeah, that would
candle.
be like right at this level, that 618 level, which is a nice level for sure. And
But
that
it seems
yeah,
like every
this
two
range is
days there's like a
kind of bare
pullback.
minimum or worst case scenario, not bare minimum, I would say. But yeah, it's at, similar level where we could hold here. And yeah, 450 would be a good, even another touch there could be good. Dogecoin.
Doge has not been moving as I expected.
Again at a, 50% level here. I like to see Doge hold here. I think we could.
I feel like Doge is more like an explosive play. Like it's not gonna like slowly climb up. It's gonna go pretty fast when it does.
Yeah, the sellers showed up here pretty quick, but we, held back at this level again. Maybe we break up and go back to 45 cents if we can continue up from here. Is there any others?
Ton. I know we haven't talked about Ton. Seems like Ton is having a rough time. Like I feel like no one has confidence in Ton and their ecosystem anymore.
Has it only been around for a year, or is that just a
Yeah,
bad
it
chart?
hasn't been on. It hasn't been
Okay.
around for that long.
That chart looks decent, though, for it to
Uh,
hold right here in this
it's
range.
been here
That's the
since
weekly
May
chart, but
March. You might not
March
have.
of 24.
Yeah,
Oh, so I don't have I have a few months left off of this chart, but yeah, I'd definitely like to see it hold here. Maybe we can come back down to like $5 again. 480. But if we lose that, that could be a little scary.
I'll show you what I'm looking at on Uniswap here.
well,
You can swap it over.
I will Uniswap it over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have seen that before.
Right. So you could see that something like this maybe play out on the alt side of things. So interesting enough, this leads you right up to uh, this January
Oh,
inauguration
nice.
date on the potential breakout range here. So maybe up, down, and then kind of send. And you see that with a lot of alts across the board. So they all kind of look really interesting. And of course, most of them are down at the lower end of their pennant here. So of course, these don't always break to the upside. It's all kind of in probabilities, etc. But more often than not, they will break out. So I just noticed that when you kind of went through some of the ones that you liked, and they all kind of had that similar pattern forming up, and with that, I would say, okay, this is interesting for
Nice.
potential breakout here, and then look to exceed the previous highs here. So they look interesting. They look good. It'll take us a few weeks for that to play out, but that's kind of what I was seeing. I'll toss it
Nice.
back to you.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can take a look at Flow. That's a coin I really like too. Has a lot of partnerships. It's been struggling though. I think we could see Flow come back to this like 64 to 56 cent range. But this is the weekly chart. This thing gets pretty wicked here. It's at an all-time high of $42, but we've been below $3 for 882 days. Some accumulation. We moved up from some nice moves this rally, but nowhere near pushing its all-time highs. So, like I said, they have a lot of partnerships. Other than that, I haven't done a crazy amount of work to keep up with what they're doing and stuff. So, but yeah, that's really all I have for. I guess we can look at some ISO 222 tokens.
Yeah, pull up XRP or something.
XRP is hard to read right now. This candle's crazy. Let me zoom out this way. Take a fib from this to the low. Rejected right off that 786 level. Made a retracement back to the 618, a retest. I guess that looks pretty good actually to continue up if we can keep pushing this.
That 7-8 rejection zone is be the one to watch for.
Yeah.
If you don't make it
That's
past there, then it's a little bit more risk, but otherwise, and maybe it just
yeah.
takes a bit of time to coil up too, right?
Yeah, and
But
like nothing something like it bounced off this 382, so even a move back down to $1.70 maybe wouldn't even be all that crazy. It would suck for the people that bought up here, but
yeah, I wouldn't buy at the moment. I'd break
yeah,
that 7-8
I'm
first,
personally staying away from it at the moment.
or waiting for a little pullback. But it's interesting, right? If you break that 7-8, then it could continue to send.
Yeah.
But I think it's one where you want that confirmation before you.
Maybe even just watching for $3, because then that almost confirms all-time highs. You still got an all-time high of like $3.30, but yeah, it's going to be used. It's going to be adopted. I know there was a statement that said XRP will be the main thing that banks will use, so at least the network. What are the other ones? Did I pull up Chainlink? I don't think I did. Oh yeah, we did look at this. Algorand. It's a decent spot for it to hold too. Let's see where the all-time highs are for. Yeah, so there's still a lot of room for Algorand to make some noise. An ISO 222 token as well. If we can kind of continue to hold this level and start making moves back above 60 cents, we could probably see $1 pretty quick. There's some, I wouldn't go that crazy. 90 cents though.
I want to quickly shout out Rojam for sending me the awesome chart pattern image
Nice.
to me on X. Very helpful. Good to have on hand instead of me always Googling the pattern I'm looking for, going through all the images and be like, yeah, that's the one. I mean, there's always one that'll fit your thesis, right? But
Which is the one? Let me see it. What's the chart pattern?
Oh, the pennant that I just showed
Oh.
there on that breakout, but he sent an image with all the various TA patterns on there. Super handy to have, and that way I can reference back to my phone a lot easier than else.
But yeah, this is XLM, another ISO 222 token. He's just had such strong runs within like the 3 weeks. All of them did, so
I really felt that we were in this like alt cycle, right?
yeah.
Now we're kind of second
Just,
guessing it again,
all the
kind of thing.
ISO
But
222 tokens is it pretty much.
I mean, those had
IOTA's,
a specific catalyst, so
yeah,
it makes
yeah.
sense.
So that's a good bet. Like I'm still surprised they don't have that list here on CoinGecko or that category.
right.
Oh, I forget. I'm looking at it right now. I forget you guys can't see that screen. H bar is another one as well. I'd like to see it hold this like 26-cent range. If we don't, maybe we see like 22 cents, 21. But yeah, that's all of them within 3 weeks went up like a couple 100%. I'm trying to think of more. I don't know any more off the top of my head. I don't think Cosmos is, no. Let's see what ApeCoin's doing. Get rid of that.
What do you think Yuga's gonna do? Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like the guy's been just like trading meme coins. Like they're
Gordon?
just like shit posting meme coins on Twitter.
Gordon?
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't take
Yeah.
much to like just fire off a few tweets, and then you're labeled as just trading shitcoins all day. Doesn't matter what you're doing in the back end, right?
I could see
Yeah.
84 cents again
I
to.
think delivering the other side is probably their major
Yeah,
focus right now.
that should be their major focus. If it's not, it should be, I would say. Litecoin's been a solid project, but do you guys want to switch over to like NFTs or meme coins or?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah, let's
fly
run NFTs first, and then we're gonna do meme coins after.
let's fly over to NFTs here. So
Ooh.
really big volume boost day. This was the kind of one of the on Friday we tried to call it the next catalyst, and then this is one of the things that was it. It was Azuki and airdrop season, etc. We're kind of getting this flow of airdrops, kind of spaced out here. We have Abstract coming in the near future, Azuki, OpenSea, and a few of those coming that will provide a little additional liquidity into the NFT space. I think new projects, excellent new projects that create a little bit of FOMO will bring some energy into the space as well. But either way, great volume move here in the last 24 hours. Primarily into Azuki. We'll watch Azuki lead the way. We're almost in this buy zone, of course, with Ethereum price down, etc. I think the value in NFTs is probably here right now, and that might not be a terrible time to be accumulating in general. Might want to wait a day or two to see how the market reacts yet. But an accumulation of Ethereum, if you have some dry powder, and I'm into NFTs, I think is really interesting because NFTs are also kind of shaken out and down a bit from the scare. Of course, the USD value is dramatically different because Ethereum is down 10+% or roughly 10% from where it was at, and then you also have a 5 to 10% price down on the NFTs in general. So I think this is this kind of good buy zone that I was hoping we get, and maybe not drawn out quite as long as I was thinking, maybe another week or so. But I wouldn't hesitate to act on it now. Of course, we don't get that opportunity to act on Azuki. I know we tried to sell Danksy on Azuki last week, and he got close but didn't get it. It's not up as much as I would have thought. Up a couple ETH. I don't think it. Danksy's
Up
losing any
one
sleep
ETH
over
right now,
that.
I think.
Yeah, I got up to 14 and a half from the 12 and a
Right.
half. So it did rally 2 weeks and then everything pulled back, right? I think it's still got opportunity to move. It's just shaking out tokenomics, broader market pullback, that kind of stuff makes it harder to gauge. But quite honestly, I think this reaction is very underwhelming. I don't know if the thought is it's kind of priced in, but if it's priced in, then you're looking at Izuki going right back to 7, which is kind of where it was in the range of 5 to 7 before. So
I thought they were getting a
maybe
10 ETH airdrop.
10 ETH is I think is probably what you could look for on the higher side, the more optimistic
Oh,
side,
I
right?
see.
So um, or maybe that's the mid range. I don't know. So, if it's 10 ETH and you pull back, that puts them back 3. There's maybe a couple ETH
Like
of
5.
value in there, kind of thing, right? So, yeah, the thing that makes it harder for Azuki than what Pudgies could argue was the fact that they had Pudgies and then Pengu, and then Abstract, and then kind of this cascading effect of additional airdrops, where Azuki doesn't necessarily have that, at least in the kind of the range. But either way, I think there's a good probability that we're undervalued right now, at least in where Azuki should go, right? And that the reaction hasn't been as strong as it probably should be. I kind of was saying before that 25-ish Azuki's where I was thinking it could get to. Market dynamics have shifted a bit, but as we've kind of experienced in the past, that this kind of dynamic can be very overreactive day to day, right? So everyone's kind of slightly bearish from everything that happened over the weekend, and now a few days from now we're bullish again, and then Azuki's full sending. So I wouldn't hesitate to move on Azuki at the moment. I still think it's probably a good ad here, and would consider it.
It's supposed to
Anything
be this
below,
month, right? The airdrop.
I think so. I think that's what I was reading. It was a January airdrop, so it could be occurring in the next couple of weeks. Now, of course, the other aspect that provides a bit of a wrinkle to this is the fact that they are rewarding um, kind of your achievements through the Azuki ecosystem. So those buying in now, maybe they don't get quite the same degree of airdrop, but my understanding is that the kind of the base, the base napkin math was is uh, is is that 10 ETH, but that base could be just an average, that sort of thing. So
I don't like
there's
that thing. It disincentivizes people to buy in.
right. It makes it more complicated, and the more complicated it is, the harder it is to to rally into it, right? Uh,
Like,
but
why should I buy in if someone else that if you're owning one NFT versus another NFT, you're not getting the same airdrop?
why should they reward people that are just buying it for their airdrop and that's it? I guess
See,
is the
look at what
counter
happened to
argument, right?
Pudgy. They went to 35.
Yeah, yeah. That 35 was pricing in the airdrop itself. Whereas
Right.
this way, if the NFT doesn't rally and they get the airdrop and they're able to sell airdrop and there's less of a sell off, then I guess there's a couple of different ways to look at it. If you're hesitant, et cetera, then you could always go into something like an elemental and do it that way as well. But yeah, interesting. Well, we'll have to see how that affects the NFT market in general. I want to see some other collections catch a bid, mainly being something like punks to see some strength in the NFT market, that sort of thing. Uh, but taking a look across the shares, you can see OpenSea continues to kind of gain a bit more on the market share for buyers, losing it in terms of total volume. Always that interesting dynamic between the two of them. Um, Unique traders didn't really bounce on this volume spike. A lot of this spike is just generally to higher value sales in Azuki. You can see that in the average sale here as well. And then floor prices are now down to 7.3. We're up 73%. I was saying about another 3% drawdown So I was looking for that like 6.8, 6.9. I don't know if it's going to play in the terms of a fib level on a 6 month kind of index level, but like, you're up and then you retrace back to that 168. I don't know. Crypto G, you're a fib king. Do you buy that kind of general sentiment that maybe the fact that we've been up over 70%, we can pull back to 69% up and then rally some more, or is that just kind of
I
chaos
guess
by
I
me?
mean Fibonacci technically it's in all aspects of life, they say.
Right?
So
That's exactly it. So
I've never actually looked at it with NFTs or anything.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if that occurs, but still looking for, maybe a bit more drawdown, but I think this is a really good
Looks
interesting
good though, just
value
from
point for NFTs right
structure.
now. Hmm.
So
And then we'll take a look. 7-day change movers, Moonbird's up. I think
damn.
Moonbird's, up and then down. They're just a kind of a swing overall. Um, I don't know if there's anything in the terms of a catalyst for Moonbirds to be expected there. And sometimes you get this, like maybe a couple low wheat sales or an accidental sale, and it will really skew this chart in general. But creeps, chimpers is one that's, I think, another one of those really interesting projects that has been a little out of the radar, so to speak, but a quality team from there. And on the downside, Killer Bears, which was leading the way last week. So, you see this flip flop. Sometimes it's always hard to see, and that's why it's good to zoom out. And that's where elementals, beans, Azuki leading the way. Mocha versus well. And yeah, taking a look at Magic Eden.
It's weird to see no Yuga assets in the top 5 even for the last
for
30
for
days.
for volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Or maybe that's
pudgy.
just a Magic Eden actually, but let me go
No,
to
this
open.
this should have everything in there
Okay.
for the
Okay.
most part, right? So it's an aggregator kind of idea. So beans, doodles had that pump on the kind of like um, fake kind of token things. I seen a bit of FUD on the timeline how there was a bit of sell off by some, I think, some Julian wallet there on selling some uh, doodles as things pumped.
All right, so
I thought the tease was kind of weak, and I also still don't necessarily know how a token fits the Doodles ecosystem. So I wasn't necessarily buying this latest rally for Doodles. Correct me if I'm wrong on the timeline or anyone that watches these videos, but I think I've been pretty consistent in saying I don't see it for Doodles. I definitely saw it for Azuki, and then of course Pudgy's was already
I
there, but.
I do really like Doodles because of all the, different collabs they have. Like
Mhm.
it's funny, I do in-home sales, so I was in someone's house and they were like drinking out of it. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." They had no idea what they were drinking out of, but
Yeah, yeah,
I really like Doodles, and I also do see a little, FUD here and there on the timeline. Like
yeah.
I saw someone mad that like, oh, every time Doodles gets to like 5 or 6 ETH, people just sell off right away. The holders are
Mhm.
paper hands, blah blah blah. But I mean, buy high,
I,
sell low is the
yeah,
strategy,
you
right?
you you want to sell into volume in terms of NFTs in general, right? And if you sell off after a bit of a rally, then you can certainly buy back in at a lower price. And if you do that strategy, if you don't get attached to a specific NFT, there's definitely profit to be had. And you see some swings, whether it's a half ETH or an
Plus,
ETH.
some people make a
That's
living.
Yeah, you can do really well. And in fact, your best strategy for trading NFTs is probably getting really adapt to one or two collections and swing trading those, right? So
Yeah.
certainly not wrong. And I don't not believe in the Doodles team and everything that they're building. I just feel like the token aspect doesn't feel like a fit, and I don't feel like it's
Oh
imminent.
yeah.
However,
And I
anything can
mean,
happen in the space, right? Whether that's an allocation from the Zuki team. I haven't looked at all their allocations yet. I know there's some allocations to be expected for um, a couple. different community based. I think Kaido was one of them. Top yappers were going to get an allocation or something like that. What's tough about these the yapping thing on? I mean, I get it. This is the smart people of X, but it feels like it's really gated towards like, um, you know, most of us being able to get into that inner circle, and it's rewarding the inner circle. It's rewarding the KOLs that are active on the timeline, and it kind of silos out most everyone else, and it's going to take a lot of work to kind of get in there for that. So rewarding that ecosystem all the way through, you're going to kind of create a little bit of angst between everyone else. So that's a little tough, but otherwise, I can't recall the other one that they were. Arbitrum. I don't know if it was Arbitrum. There is another kind of group that we're going to get rewarded on the Zuki ecosystem there, but either way, and then
shall see.
Apes down at 7th in the terms of volume over the last day.
Oh
But
man,
even on the last
Azuki
30
gonna flip
days,
apes.
No Yuga
Zuki flip
asset
apes. I
top
mean, they came
5.
close already. And I
They
think
might.
that's I don't know if that's a poly market bet, but I would say that it's likely to happen.
Dude, what's going on with these ape coin prices? I mean, board ape prices. Like,
certainly not reacting that much, but I mean, right now it's the catalysts are token drops, and the token drops are the kind of easy money, so to speak, right? And we're not in the 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 peak or the hype of the NFT market cycle yet. We got that
dude, I feel
early
like you don't even
move.
see apes posted on the Twitter timeline anymore.
I do quite a bit, but it's mainly just good morning posts and stuff here and there.
Yeah, there's a little less of them. They're not necessarily the PFP of the main voices in the space at the moment either, right? So
Pudgies and
it's
Azuki's always look good on a PFP, so
apes do too. I mean,
exactly, yeah.
apes look good at the right price too, right? So,
And
Apes
punks.
look a lot better at
If I
28.
had
What are you trying to
35
say?
ETH laying around, I'd buy a punk, but
mhm.
I don't have
um,
35 ETH laying around.
Dude,
I
I don't
would.
know. Go first, Rhodes.
I was gonna say I would like to see a punk / ape move here to kind of signal the next kind of kickoff
Yeah,
rally in NFTs. But like I said, I think given where ETH is today and given where NFT prices are today, I think this is definitely a good value entry at the moment. So
we
I
saw
wouldn't
them all the way
hesitate
down
to.
at what, 7, 8 ETH? Did
Yeah,
they go that low? And then
Apes?
they've
No way.
bounced back. They
and
got
like
pretty close. I know they were
my
below
target
10 ETH, but
for apes is like 40.
right, yeah, like they've held very strong above, like at this 14 ETH range specifically. Once it
Go to
broke
daily.
back, like it looks pretty good.
Fun. Yeah, let's see what else.
Dude, I don't like how Azuki is doing it by there's like a like the award component, whatever the thing is.
Really don't like that, right?
Dude, like what if you have like 20 Azukis, but like you don't
I've only held them for like 6
Yeah, it's
months.
true. Like you
no,
could have
like
bought 20
you're an
Azukis
OG Azuki
2 weeks
holder.
ago. Well, if you're an OG Azuki holder, you're probably gonna have the badges, right?
What are the like? Do you have to claim them or something? Like, what if you're just like not? You don't have time for this shit.
I don't know. I log back into my Azuki. I don't hold any Azuki assets at the moment, but I log back in because I've held a few, and I didn't see any badges that I held. I don't know if
Yeah, what if
I
they like
needed to
claim them?
claim or
Don't you have to like do
yeah.
tasks for it, like liking stuff on Twitter and stuff?
I don't I don't know. I thought just by owning specific assets you got them, but I wasn't thinking at the time that I was doing this for some future airdrop. Now, of course, I also don't expect that I should be rewarded for the fact that I once was holding Azuki, and therefore I should be rewarded for that. So even if I did claim the badges, although hey, I'm not going to complain if I do. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of like in terms of allocation wise, if someone has 10 badges and someone just bought it yesterday, I would want to see that person that bought it yesterday get rewarded, you know, 60% at minimum of what the person with that 10 badges might have. Say 10 badges is on the high side, right? So it's
Well,
almost like a rarity type thing where you're still getting rewarded a lot if you were to go ahead and buy today. But those that were deep in the ecosystem, uh, can still do well. Like say Dingling, Dingling should get all the highest level across the board kind of thing.
right, but what if you're like, no, I feel like those people should be fine. I'm talking about the people
Mm-hmm.
who are like, just hold like 10, 5,
Holding 10 and never did
just
if you
never did
held
it. They
10
just
and
don't have time.
I mean, yeah, they should be able to go in there and still do it, right? So yeah, if
How
if it
if you're
doesn't
like,
reward holders that were holding for a while and for whatever reason never claimed the badges or this or that, then yeah, that's a bit flawed. But there's no perfect way, right? Like go ahead and sign up to this Discord group and make sure you get this rolled. Otherwise, you're not going to get that sort of thing. That happens all the time. Um, Pengu did really well in terms of the way they managed to do the airdrop and giving a lot to everyone. That everyone has got a very good taste from that airdrop. Anything that is not like that will probably generate some degree of FUD. I would imagine that Azuki, if it's doing half as well as Pengu, is probably seen as a success, um, at least out of the gate. Anime is a bigger brand, so to speak, than what Pengu is, but um, it's not necessarily uh, a guarantee in the terms of a meme coin. But now, after Azuki's done, what's next?
ApeCoin 2.
Right? Punk coin. Come on, couldn't they just do that? Couldn't they do
Yeah,
Punk coin?
why don't they do that?
Dude, are Pudgy's gonna flip punks?
Bruh, they
um,
could.
that'd be wild. I don't think so. I would. I would.
You guys
I
gotta
mean,
step up their game.
it's not out of range at this point, right? Like, I mean, Pudgy's got to 35 already. Um, this 35 price on punks though,
But yeah, that's
it's a fluctuating price. Like the floor right now, actually the floor is 35. Um, between this and Wrapped, it's always a little bit weird, and the liquidity on punks is all different. So it's all of this is a little bit crazier to
people
look at for punks than anything else. But
people be buying traits though. Like a lot of people don't. I notice when they buy a punk, they don't necessarily just buy the floor.
yeah, because you're more likely
82
to PFP
ETH.
a punk than anything else,
82
right?
ETH. This guy spent 6 days ago. 125 on a hoodie punk 6 days ago. Dang.
Anything else on NFTs?
No. If anybody wants to drop me like 40 ETH or so, I'll buy us a crypto punk. You can have
Right?
partial value of it. Just let me
I mean,
PFP it.
if there's anything that's
Dude, you don't
programmed,
need 40
it's
ETH to PFP it. You just right click
punks.
save.
Until you find the actual person that has the punk and they're active on the timeline, then
And they're
Bro,
like,
then you're
bro,
like, you're a liar. You're
or
you're
hey, this
lying,
this
bro.
punk hasn't moved in 2 years. How the heck do you right?
You just
There's
reverse it
there's
on him.
sleuthers out there. It's a
funny.
hard game.
Yeah.
I mean, in the peak of the market, we were a lot more active in trying to sleuth out those people, especially the fake apes. I don't know how much of that goes on nowadays, but where someone could probably get away with copping a punk on the timeline. But
Dude, I've never
yeah,
seen anyone get called out for not owning the PFP that they have their PFP'd.
They'll
it
just change
happens.
it or delete
It
their
happens
account.
within the community itself. I think a fair bit, right? Or you get those community hype posts. Used to see it a lot in, say, like for instance, like Corky's, and then all of a sudden you'd have an ape or a Corky itself post, and it's like, oh, I know who holds that note, or an ape would post about something and be like, hey, like this, or how active is this community, blah blah blah, and just engagement farming. But they actually don't have it, or they're running a giveaway or this or that or anything else. So that stuff kind of happens on the timeline. Um, but I don't know how much it is nowadays.
There's still a few here and there, but
we're all just
you can.
chasing KOLs.
Yeah, their accounts just look sketchy. You can just. I feel like you can just tell.
Speaking of, did you guys see the Halo spaces
I did
and the
not.
Halo tweets? Danksy, you
No,
must have seen
no.
this, right?
What is this? Halo, like the game, or what?
No,
What is this? Halo.
no, it was like a spaces with like Halo. Halo was like the agent.
Oh, AI.
Yeah,
The game pops up first.
I
Of
don't know
course
if
it
I can
does,
find
though.
it or what it is here. Um, yeah, it's all the game. But they had versions of Andrew Tate
Halo airdrop.
talking back and forth because they were clone his voice and then were talking on the spaces, and it was wild. It was hilarious. It was
It's
one of the
funny.
best things I've heard in a while. But I don't have it bookmarked or favorited, and so um, yeah. Anyways, that was an
Wow.
attempt to slide into meme coins. I fumbled just about as bad as the meme coins themselves uh, on that. But let's take a look at the watch list. I'm going to sort it by maybe market cap, and we can just take a look at least what I have on the watch list, which is not a definitive list,
What
but
do you got?
I
What do
try
you
to
got?
keep it up.
What's
So
Pengu at? Probably doing really
Pangu
well.
Pangu's up on the 6 hour, up 9%, and at 1.96. A bit of a value at the moment based on where they've recently been. Um, Kind of this is actually that original level that I had targeted out, that it bounced off of. Maybe some consolidation here further, but yeah, Pengu, I think the sentiment is still really good around it.
Also,
Uh,
if anyone in the chat wants to have us look at a meme coin, let us know.
this fart coin bounce was vicious and really strong. Like I said, I was watching it
Dang.
Friday off this like 800K. I liked it anywhere around 1 billion earlier in the week, and I thought, okay, this is a good level, but I like it. 900K would be my target to add. Didn't add anything. Got to here, and of course, it's what happens when you're looking at this downtrend. Is you're like, oh, maybe I can get it cheaper. Maybe I can get it cheaper. Well, we got into this, and this is where kind of the macro was a little uncertain, and then really the first one to bounce was Fartcoin after getting down to looks like as low as 700,000, and it went from 700,000 to 1.1 billion in a short period of time here. Just a vicious rally, and looking really strong again. I think in terms of memes out of this cycle, this is one that I'm going to peg as one of the leaders. Up there with your Pepe and Whiff or whatever. I mean, I
Ooh,
think
up
beyond
with
Whiff.
Pepe and Whiff. You're kind of crazy.
No, 100%. There's no crazy there. Fartcoin
What's Whiff at right now? Whiff's
is
at
programmed. Whiff,
1.5 bill.
yeah, Fartcoin could be ahead of Whiff like tomorrow. Um, I'm not saying it is. Don't quote me on that, but uh, I think just in general, it's just such a easy meme coin to understand, and then it's also got a bit of an AI narrative to it. So I mean, the AI narrative is kind of a little bit silly in general. It really is just a great meme, right? So we'll see. But nice recovery rebound here. I'd like to see it kind of pull back again if you're looking to add. Maybe we get a bit of a pullback after this rally, and go from there. And in fact, you could be like lower low, lower high. I mean, you could still be in a downtrend, and you could still pull right back to 700K here, if we don't break out of this, say, 1 to 1.2 range. So I would still watch that. I wouldn't be piling in here if this is kind of your first entry into Farcoin, but in the general narrative around it, I think to be honest, it's one of the safer kind of ads for a longer term move when it comes to meme coins. It is on Solana, and we know Solana users are hyperactive traders, right? So there's going to be a little bit more volatility there, but I like it nonetheless.
SPX at 1 billion. What else am I looking at here?
Yeah, just below 1 billion.
Virtuals at 1.32. Good buy opportunity. Or
A lot
sorry,
of a lot of like fun and uncertainty and back and forth on the timeline around AI over the weekend. They're just wrapped old versions of Chat GPT.
they
There's
are all
nothing.
wrapped version of
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
there's
What are you
nothing
guys talking
special
about?
about them, and there's not blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but there's nothing special about anyone on the timeline. Like, I mean, you
They
know,
just no way they just realized it now. It's definitely some coordinated fun.
there's nothing special about meme coins. These are more special than meme coins because there's actually something there. But I guess if you're buying meme coin or AI meme coins because they are going to change everything, then maybe you're trying to right curve it a little too much there and dumb it down a bit. But I think this all highlights what a an agent can do on the timeline, but also impactfully when it comes to just everyday life. And we'll experience it over the next 12 months, and it's going to be likely dramatically or quite impactful for all of us, right?
Oh my god!
Hopefully not too negative, right? But agents in general are going to really come in wild and expand into probably customer service and this and that and start doing things right. I think what we want to have is that AI agent that can interact with uh, hosts in space that do the shows and stuff like that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, really, it's it's an extension of the meme, and sure, there's some interesting things that can be done, and everyone that's out here building these memes or AI agents are trying to be as unique and interesting as possible, and that's what kind of fuels them. But don't get it wrong; these are not the people that are on the forefront of AI development, and they're going to create a sentient AI agent that's going to be able to solve all of our crypto world problems, right? So, yeah, and virtuals, being a foundation of these being created,
I wonder what Virtual uses to power their thing.
right? They obviously have to be a layer two of some sort, right?
Oh, for sure. There's no one. No, none of these are creating their own foundational models, so they're using something for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Take a look at Cerebro. That's
Oof.
been taking a hit.
Really quick, fam, I
Cerebro has
do have
been
to bounce
smoked.
out of here. It was
Yeah.
good catching on another Monday. We'll see you guys next week. I'll put my prediction as we'll be up from the spot next week.
Oh,
But
for
like
Yeah,
I
sure.
said,
this
like
is
I said,
this
it's
is
a
the pivot that we're
50-50.
used to right here, right? This is the pivot that we're used to.
This is our
Um,
bread and butter right here.
Less than 100K.
Uh,
104.
right at or around, or like a little bit below.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I'll
So
I'll agree.
we
So
shall
that
see.
way, if we're wrong, I can say it was Crypto's G's fault.
And then Dinksy, you predict the downside. So either way, we have it right.
What?
Just.
Right.
104. Over 104.
Oh, he's going upside. Okay,
But
we're
all
hooked
right,
then.
it was good catching up again. I'll see where we're at next week, and we will see you guys then.
Sounds good.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
take
us
care,
on.
man.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna close out soon, but yeah, take care.
Yeah,
Trying to figure out how to leave this again.
this is an interesting spot here for Zero Bro. You want to see
Dude,
it
our AI
break this
coins
current
dead?
level. Are AI coins dead?
Yeah.
Nah,
Is it over?
nah, nah. I don't think so. If that's all it took was 1 weekend of a shakeout, I mean, I
Dude,
guess
that's
it's
all it
been a
takes for these
little bit
hyperactive
longer.
traders.
It's been yeah, right. It's been about 10 days of kind of this downside action across some of these AI coins. Of course, Zero Bro led the way. Maybe if you want to say it's only been a week, um, but up so high and it was running so hot that this is just a very natural pullback. Um, you know, Zero Bro doesn't necessarily look great here at the moment. I can quite easily see it rejecting this current level and finding more downside. Um, so I'm not betting on Zero Bro at the moment. Um,
Damn,
yeah,
looks like most of these are kind of, they look kind of scary to buy in, but that's kind of when you want to buy in, you know.
it is exactly when you want to buy, right? You were buying anything that dipped over the last
How's
earlier
how
today.
how
You're already up well, but I think a lot of these are interesting. The thing is what we have to do also realize is that there's only so much liquidity when it comes to meme coins, and
right?
we've had so many kind of being injected in recently, and we can't keep all of them up. So if you want to find a bit of flight to safety, if there is such a thing, AI 16Z I think is still looking pretty good here. Quite a retracement, but I think it looks much better than Zero at the moment. Um, you know, Fartcoin is kind of AI adjacent, so you're not necessarily into AI there, but um, you know,
I'm still an MLG though.
AI XBT I think is probably interesting. You're an MLG still.
I'm still an MLG. Is
I
it
think
holding up?
it's I think it's safe. I think Banks is so pot committed right now that I'm sure he's going to continue to drive that. And it doesn't hurt to have uh, a big time uh, face of the coin like him. So, and I mean, we all know MLG, right? So, or most of us do. So, not not against that one for sure. I too probably should shut it down. We should probably be watching the football game if we're not already. And yeah, it's been a good session. Um, real real interesting one here today. I look forward to this time next Monday
When
and
you see the
reflecting
pivot,
on
we'll be straight
yeah
up 200K
reflecting
Bitcoin.
on it. Because yeah, we tried to continue that pivot. We learned that you can't ignore a pivot, right?
Yep. Sometimes
Which
it
we tried to do
happens.
last week. We tried to ignore the fact that we were running hot and we're going to pivot down. So, but every Tuesday, it happens. If you've been watching this show every week, you know that. And yeah, thanks much. Thanks, Danksy.
No, thank you, Rhodes. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care. Oh,
Yep. Take care, man.
all right. Cheers. Bye,
Peace.
everyone.